This is a biscuit. Delicious, crunchy goodness packed with flavour and a helpful QR code on the back. This is that exact same biscuit, but in a spreadable form, which is totally bizarre. This is Arkham Horror. Delicious card-based goodness packed with narrative excitement and a helpful QR code on the back. This is that exact same game, but they replaced all the people with dogs. Dogs! It's madness! Oh, and it's definitely not spreadable. Well, actually it was. Barkham Horror was initially an April Fool's joke that appeared on the Fantasy Flight Games website in 2019. You are aware that they have a hidden section on their website just for April Fool's products, right? Then everyone on the social media went totally gaga and said they would buy 1 million copies if this was a real thing. So some brave soul convinced the bean counters that this would be a great way of recycling existing Arkham Horror art for yet another time and make them a boatload of cash. So here it is. We first suspected something was up last year when we asked if we could use the art assets to create a spoof unboxing video for it, and they said no. Not that that's anything particularly unusual. Although the whole thing may have been just an excuse to put pictures of cute animals on the internet. FFG has a regular tradition of immortalising their long-term staff in gaming art. It's kind of like a rite of passage, and now this has been extended to their pets. So if you are looking at getting a job at FFG, you probably don't need an animal companion, but it looks like it helps. This is a standalone product that contains some customized investigators, customized player cards, and a new scenario with customized versions of the usual scenario cards. Basically, they've taken published cards and photoshopped cat and dog themed pictures into the artwork and rewritten both the flavour and rules text in a humorous way. If you are a cat or dog lover, it should raise a chuckle, and if you're a long-term Arkham player, many of these gags have existed on the internet as memes for some time. Well, you aren't really supposed to, as the priority for this item was humour value rather than balanced and airtight gameplay. Both the rulebook and the cards themselves make this clear, but what you do in the privacy of your own man cave is up to you. Just be wary of bringing such hybrid decks to official events like Gen Con and Arkham Nights. Well, assuming human beings are ever allowed to leave the house again. They also don't want you to play regular investigators in the adventure that comes in this product either. So this is definitely a one-shot, standalone experience not to be inserted into a campaign. Although we've all been body swapped before, right? Know what I'm saying? You receive one blister pack which has the same dimensions as all the previous standalone products. Inside there is a 12-page folded stapled rulebook with an introduction and expansion symbol on the cover page. 2 pages of rules including 4 different chaos bag setups as opposed to the usual 2, a summary of the alert keyword, and 2 scenario specific mechanics. Then 4 pages of story text that determine which locations your investigators will start at. A single page of setup instructions and location diagram. Notice that they have stopped saying suggested location placement and they've blanked out all the text on the cards to reduce spoilers, which is fantastic. It's only taken them 4 years! There is a single page of scenario resolution and a half-page thank you. On the rear is the credits, and only 5 playtesters and more dogs and cats get thank yous than people. Moving on, there is a Ziploc bag with the 5 mini cards, colour on the front and black and white on the reverse. And then 2 sealed packs of cards, one with an investigator face out and one with a scenario card back, both of which have spoilers on the reverse, so go carefully. If you open up this pack, you will see that unusually you get an investigator card and then their 2 signature cards before the next investigator. After these come 6 new player cards, 1 for each class plus a neutral at 2 copies each. Anyone wanting to avoid spoilers, this is your last player card before the scenario reference card, and then 2 agenda, 2 act and 10 locations. The next pack contains another 3 locations and all of the encounter cards. There is only 1 encounter set, so setup instructions are brief. This was indeed initially designed as a joke. It was merely a throwaway spoof from a graphic designer intended to raise a smile. When it came time to turn this into a functional product, a lot of changes had to be made. You will notice it was originally a deluxe expansion, but designing a 150 plus card product with 2 playable scenarios is expensive and ties up your design team for an impractical amount of time. Cutting it down to 81 cards with only 1 new player card per class and a single adventure is easier to justify in terms of studio resources. So sadly you won't get to play Hisses in the Dark or In the Claws of Evil. Also notice how none of the initial investigators made it into the finished product. Rex Murphy as a rogue would certainly have been interesting, right? And those investigators also had their own custom skill icons to boot, as well as dog-themed abilities which really didn't sit well with the existing rules. So what you end up with is kind of a reskin of existing abilities and mechanics which is easier to playtest and sell to existing players. Well, according to FFG, this is available now.
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
But good luck finding a copy. With a recent surge in new players and a limited print run, this sold out to pre-orders right away. We did confirm with Asmodee UK that this will not be reprinted as it is not part of the core game line. The reseller market, and notably eBay, is your best bet here. Literally, buy it now as the price will only get bigger as the player base grows. We have seen price escalations with FFG's official miniatures line, where $4 figures skyrocketed in value. The bulk of the copies will be in English, as places like North America, Australia, the UK and some European countries all share the same product pool, so cast your net as wide as possible. eBay has what they call the Global Shipping Program, where eBay will handle both the transit of the item and all the customs charges and brokerage, so you pay for everything upfront with no nasty surprises on your doorstep. And if you are purchasing from a foreign language website, make sure you check the exchange rate and the delivery charges before committing. This may be a pricey purchase for something you might only play once or twice, so think carefully on whether you would rather have a new deluxe box or some fancy storage instead. There are some videos on YouTube which delve further into spoiler territory if you need more information. And FFG did a playthrough, which is hidden away on the PAX channel rather than their own, so make sure you bug us to put a link in the description for you. Do you want a quick slideshow? Well, okay, just one. Another way for companies to justify a non-canon product like this is to have it be a charity item with proceeds going to appropriately themed causes, which in the US is Pets for Vets. The vets in question not being veterinarians because they probably see enough pets, but rather this charity matches military veterans with rescued animals. This is a careful process ensuring both partners are compatible. The animals are also fully trained before going to their new home. They just celebrated their 10th year and have chapters all over the US, having made a real impact to hundreds of veterans and hundreds of abandoned pets too. There are lots of ways you can make a donation directly, and as a 501c3 organisation, your donation is tax deductible, so ask your accountant why this is great for you. You can also support them by buying from their store. If you are prepping for holiday season, then check out their wrapping paper and greeting cards. You know they are legit as they've got their own YouTube channel with videos way more professional than ours. And hey look, that is actor Gary Sinise singing their praises. You know, he played Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. Oi, cheeky! Okay, he's in 13 Reasons Why. And did 200 odd episodes of CSI New York. Anyway, you can check out their website or videos to learn more. But bring some tissues, man, as it's emotional stuff. If you're in the UK, or maybe a country that receives English language product, then your money could be going to Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. This is a charity dedicated to rehoming stray cats and dogs. It was founded in 1860 as the temporary home for lost and starving dogs, with one of its key supporters being Charles Dickens, who wrote about them in his weekly magazine all year round. In 1885, Queen Victoria became its patron, and it has remained under royal patronage ever since, as well as having official celebrity ambassadors. Speaking of royalty, Palmerston, Chief Mouser of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, Gladstone, Chief Mouser of Her Majesty's Treasury, and Larry, Chief Mouser to the Cabinet Office have all come from Battersea, doing sterling work on behalf of our nation in an appointment that dates back to Cardinal Wolsey's cat in the 16th century. Since opening, Battersea Dogs and Cats Home have cared for more than 3.1 million animals and spread to 3 separate sites, taking in an average of 16 homeless pets per day. And with 3 operating theatres and 39 medical staff, they can perform more than 100 procedures per week on sick and injured animals. Of course, they have all the social media and a YouTube channel, which has tons of free advice videos all about caring for pets. We recommend watching their Behind the Scenes at Battersea playlist for a brief introduction to their work. They also had their own TV series, which has been running for 9 seasons, blimey. You may not realise just how much animal charities have been affected by the global lockdown. We hadn't until we watched their video about it, as this is the first time the charity has been closed to the public in 160 years. If you are looking for Christmas gifts or would like to do a little good, check out their store and especially their sale. Lita found these adorable salt and pepper shakers, and you can even buy gifts for the animals currently homed at one of their facilities if you have no pet of your own. In today's interconnected world, Arkham Horror is translated into all sorts of different languages, and as of October, we have found Barkham in English, French, German, Italian, Korean, Spanish, and Polish. Witaj Polsko! And it is fascinating to see how you turn Arkham into Barkham in so many different languages. We really did try hard to track down any charities in those countries benefiting from the sale of this product, but didn't get very far. We even reached out directly via email and Twitter. But the only one we are positive on is Andy Chien in France, which is an amazing charity providing free service dogs for disabled people and associated education. Founded in 1989, they have more than 30 years of experience in assistance animals with more than 2,300 dogs handed over. It takes 22 months to train a dog at a cost of €15,000 depending on their role, and they often learn more than 50 commands. As well as helping people with reduced mobility, service dogs can calm people with anxiety, help the elderly keep active and engaged, and be a real benefit to children with autism. In 2018, they introduced the first warning response dog to France. These are specially trained to help people with epilepsy, giving them up to 7 minutes warning of an impending seizure, as well as staying with them through the attack and retrieving medication or assistance as required. A year later, they introduced the concept of the Judicial Assistance Dog. These are specially trained to comfort victims of crime, particularly children that have been witnesses or victims of domestic violence. Based on the programs run by the FBI in the US and the Delta Police in Canada, this is a first in Europe. You can watch what they do on their YouTube channel and Facebook and Instagram, where you can use the translate options to find out more about their incredible work. We had better stop here, as 2 days of solid heartwarming stories has made us run out of tissues, and Lita looks like she's got some Christmas shopping to do. If anyone has any tips for removing spreadable biscuit, then please do leave them in the comments below. We'd appreciate it. Did this video answer all your questions? Well, good luck in finding your own copy of Barkham Horror. Check to see if our competition to win one is still running. What's that? You want to know where the QR code on the back of the biscuit goes? Your wish is our command.